Supreme Court bench granted bail to Singh after ED said it had no objection to the bail appeal of the AAP leader. Singh was in jail since October 4th, 2023. AAP celebrated the bail of Singh as the victory of truth and reiterated that AAP leaders have been implicated in false cases. BJP said that AAP can no longer claim that central agencies are indulging in any kind of vendetta politics. Will Sanjay Singh's release give an impetus to AAP, which is suffering from a leadership crunch after AAP Supreme Kejriwal was arrested? And more importantly, why was Sanjay Singh granted bail by the Supreme Court? We'll decode it in this show, but let us listen to the bite of Sanjay Singh's wife and Pawan Khera.
पत्नी अनीता सिंह हमारे साथ है, अब अस्पताल से उनसे मिल के आ रही हैं।
हाँ, अभी उनकी सेहत ठीक है और आज जो न्यायपालिका ने जो भी ऑर्डर किया है और उससे सबको थोड़ा सी राहत मिली है, लेकिन पूरी राहत तभी होगी जब तीन भाई हमारे बाहर आ जाएंगे और हम चाहते हैं उनके न्यायपालिका पे मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि उन तीनों भाइयों को भी इसी तरह से राहत देंगे और एक दिन वो लोग भी बाहर आएंगे, फिर हम लोग साथ में
भले ही जमानत मिल गई है लेकिन खुशी आप नहीं मनाएंगे?
नहीं, अभी खुशी हम इसलिए नहीं मना सकते क्योंकि अभी हमारे तीनों बड़े भाई अंदर हैं, जब तक वो बाहर नहीं आते तब तक कोई खुशी नहीं है।
आगे की प्रक्रिया आपको बताएगी, ये कब छूटेंगे जेल?
वो कल दोपहर 3-4 बज जाएगा।
अस्पताल से रिलीज होंगे?
नहीं, अस्पताल से दोपहर में रिलीज हो जाएंगे, लेकिन उसके बाद प्रोसेस जो होगा वो उस हिसाब से होगा।
6 महीने कितने आपके लिए संघर्षपूर्ण रहे?
बस आप लोग तो मिलते रहे और संघर्ष मेरा पहले भी ऐसे ही था, आज भी था, तो ठीक है।
संघर्ष सुनवाई हुई, उम्मीद थी कि मान मिल जाएगी?
हाँ, आज उम्मीद थी, लग रहा था कि आज कुछ पॉजिटिव होगा, तो सब भगवान ने सुना और न्यायपालिका ने भी अच्छा किया।
संजय सिंह जी की जमानत ने साबित कर दिया कि आखिरकार जीत सत्य की ही होती है। आप सत्य को दबा सकते हैं, लेकिन आप सत्य को मिटा नहीं सकते हैं। आज संजय सिंह जी की जमानत ने ये दिखा दिया। हमने देखा कि किस तरह से पिछले 2 साल से एक एक करके आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं को झूठे केसों में गिरफ्तार किया जा रहा था, फंसाया जा रहा था। पहले सतेंद्र जैन जी को जेल में डाला, फिर मनीष सिसोदिया जी को जेल में डाला, फिर संजय सिंह जी को जेल में डाला, फिर अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को गिरफ्तार करके जेल में डाला। लेकिन आज संजय सिंह जी की जमानत ये बताती है कि आखिरकार जीत सत्य की ही होती है।
ईडी के पास कोई ठोस सबूत होता तो वो आज बेल का विरोध करती। बेल का विरोध नहीं किया, यही दिखाता है कि ईडी के पास कुछ है नहीं, कोई ठोस सबूत नहीं है, बिना वजह उनको अंदर रखा। तो अभी तक ईडी ने अंदर क्यों रखा था और अब ईडी के पास नहीं था कुछ, इसलिए उन्होंने विरोध नहीं किया। तो पहले अंदर क्यों रखा और अब विरोध क्यों नहीं किया? ये दोनों सवाल जायज हैं।
So why did he get the bail? I am joined by Sunita Aran, author and consulting editor, Hindustan Times, Dr. Kapila Sankla, senior advocate, Supreme Court of India. I am also joined by legal editor Ashok Bagaria, and Brijesh continues to be with me in the studio. Let me first go across to Ashok. Why did he get the bail? I am not asking how did he get the bail.
Well, because the court thought that prima facie the case against Sanjay Singh was weak. And in fact, before they passed the bail order, they asked the Enforcement Directorate lawyer, who was the Additional Solicitor General of India, S.V. Raju, that look, you have not been able to garner the money, in the sense that the allegation against him is that he received 2 crores 20 lakh rupees, but where is the money, you are not able to show. Number 2, he's been behind bars for the last 6 months. It's a question of his personal liberty and freedom. What do you have to say? Do you still need him behind bars? And one observation which clinched the deal for Sanjay Singh was by Justice Dipankar Datta, who said that, look, whatever you say, we will be forced to interpret Section 45 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Now, Section 45 of PMLA talks about grant of bail, and it says that a court can grant bail if it is satisfied or it has reasonable reasons to believe that the accused is not involved with the offence, and secondly, that the accused, if released on bail, will not commit any other offence.
Okay, let me go across to Kapil Sankla. Do you think that it will have an impact on the case?
Well, there is no straight answer, but just to add on to what my learned panelists were saying, you see, the penultimate argument in any PMLA matter is this: whether the twin conditions, which are supposed to be very harsh, are satisfied or not. And as rightly stated, the twin conditions are that one, there should be a prima facie satisfaction of the court that the accused has not committed the offence, and that the second is, and that he is not likely to commit any offence while on bail. Now, the court might have said whatever it said, but let us understand what the conclusion of the arguments was and what the conclusion of the order is. The court has expressly clarified that the bail was being granted based on the concession by ED and not on merits, which means that every case would have to stand on its own merit and no benefit can be taken of this judgment. In fact, the Honorable Supreme Court further says that this order shall not be treated as a precedent, and which was specifically added by the Honorable Supreme Court. Will it have any binding effect? No. Will it have any persuasive effect? Perhaps. But the question is this, that it wasn't a finding on the merit, and therefore I think there is much hullabaloo about nothing at this moment. You see, any matter in which bail is granted does not have a binding precedent and only a persuasive value. Here the persuasive value is even lower, because the court has specifically clarified that this will not have any precedent or binding effect. So therefore, will the benefit be given to other accused? Well, they'll have the same argument before the Honorable Court, but the question is that the arguments here, the clinching deal was that there was no money trail, perhaps pointing out to this gentleman, which perhaps is not the case when it comes to Mr. Sisodia or the other accused. So we still have to see what is going to happen, but I don't really think that they can actually use this as a riding horse and ride away to sunset merely on basis of this relief that was granted by the Honorable Supreme Court, which being a concession bail and not a bail on merit any which ways.
Brijesh?
Well, I think, I completely agree with, what the panelists said and what Ashok said, that, I mean, the fact is that they couldn't, but if you look at the political side of it, the fact is that this is the first bail. In a series of cases in which the top
merit.
No. The merit is because the court didn't went into the merit of the case. The ED accepted when the court made an observation, and post that observation, as Ashok said, post that observation, the ED said that they don't want to oppose the bail plea, and that is how he got the bail. It is not like as if the court also did a favor. I think Ashok can elaborate more on this.
Before I go to Ashok, let me go across to Sunita Arun. The political side of this release, will there be a political side? Do you think that this is going to help Aam Aadmi Party or 100%. Not make any difference?
At a time when they were looking for somebody to organize, to galvanize, it has generated hope, because Sanjay Singh is a good organizer and has been a member of the party. He is the founding member of the party, and he played a very important role in Punjab and Delhi elections. So I think his coming out, it will certainly boost the morale of the cadre. Then it will give them a leadership. And as legally, when you were talking about, I think every case is different. He was not holding any position. There was a charge of money exchange which they couldn't prove. But it definitely gives some hope to others also.
Definitely gives some hope to others also. I think hope is a very powerful thing, Sunita, in politics. But it doesn't mean that something is going to happen for those, because there are also many others who are still languishing inside the jail and the bail has not come.
Let's see in coming days how things unfold. But in any way, Sanjay Singh will be active from tomorrow on the streets of Delhi and otherwise.
Ashok?
Well, I'm not too optimistic about it, as Dr. Kapil Sankla pointed out.
For the streets of Delhi or?
No. I'm just
the legal merit of the case.
The merit of the streets of Delhi is like an open field. Anybody can congregate, gather and do whatever they want to. Now, going to the legality of the case, it's very simple. You have to understand that every person who is an accused in a case has a specific role to play. And lawyers love to argue that when one of the accused gets bail, they love to argue on the grounds of parity, the favorite argument is that, there are 5 accused in the case, 2 accused have got bail, so we should also be granted bail. But at the end of the day, how the court decides a bail is basically on the basis of the role, the gravity of the offence attached to you, and the satisfaction of the court whether there is actually a role which is attached to the accused or not. Now, in Sanjay Singh's case, the court was absolutely clear. Everything that the judges say is not to be very overtly said. There are lawyers who understand or who can read the mind of the judges at what the judge is hinting at. So, a judge in this particular case, Justice Sanjeev Khanna, Justice Warale or Justice Dipankar Datta didn't have to say, look, that after the submissions made by Mr. Singhvi, we believe that no case is made out, and what you have on hand is basically an accusation and a prover's statement, and we all know that what is the evidentiary value of an approver's statement, and we believe that your case is weak. So, the court didn't say that. It didn't say in so many words, but it hinted at the fact when it asked ED, look, what is your stand? Tell us your stand. Are you going to oppose this bail application on merit or not? And that gave the cue to the Additional Solicitor General that, look, if he were to argue on the merits of the case, the judges will be passing an order which will not just be interpreting Section 45, but will also have a merit on the trial, which will have a bearing on the trial of the case, and will also, to a certain extent, benefit the other accused who are behind bars, which is Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia and Satyendra Jain.
Mr. Sankla, do you agree with this? That was a pretty nuanced interpretation.
I agree wholeheartedly by what has been said by my friend, and only to add on 2 important things. You see, in today's day, we have things like Twitter and live law, which actually give the benefit of the audience, who's not in the court, as to, blow by blow account of what the court is saying, what the, judges are observing, what the lawyers are saying, etc., etc. But it does not mean that this is what is going to remain for posterity. What remains for posterity is the order, which is being inked and signed by the court, and nothing beyond that. So therefore, as rightly said, the court may have made certain observations, and these observations were rightly read by the learned ASG, who took instructions and said that we are not objecting. But would that benefit somebody tomorrow? I'm afraid no, unless they are able to adopt the same arguments and lead the judge to the same conclusion. It is not going to benefit, because there is no binding precedent any which ways. And very rightly, as he said, that we like to argue that, my lord, we are arguing on parity. But the argument of parity in PMLA is any which way is difficult. Although, in lawyers on the trial side would always say कि किसने कुंडा खोला कि दूसरों को भी फायदा मिल गया. But in PMLA that is not the case, truly, because
तो यहाँ तो आप कह रहे हैं कि यहाँ कुंडा खोलने वाली कोई बात नहीं है.
कुंडा नहीं खुला है.
कुंडा नहीं खुला.
खटखटाने की आवाज आ गई, फायदा नहीं मिलेगा.
No, but there's also
खटखटाने की आवाज आ गई. That's very well said.
Another side to it, Kartike. Aam Aadmi Party is a different political party, the more nimble-footed than others. And trust me, tomorrow on the streets of Delhi, whatever the legal arguments may be, they will celebrate the coming out of Sanjay Singh out of Tihar as a big victory day for themselves. And you trust me, they will paint the road of Delhi.
Do you agree? Do you agree with Brijesh? Sunita, do you agree with Brijesh? The 2 of the panelists are saying कि कुंडा उंडा नहीं खुला, सिर्फ खटखटाने की आवाज आई है. That's all.
Legal is for lawyers.
Don't get excited.
Legal is for lawyers. Politics is for politicians.
No. You see, जो वो कह रहे हैं कि कुंडा खुला है. I'm not saying. I'm saying Sanjay Singh was in a different role, and the others who were inside were in power. They were occupying positions of power. But a case can always be put for them also. For them to hope some relief, you can't deny them. As for Delhi streets, definitely, although the court has barred Sanjay Singh from making any comments on the case as per se, but you can't stop others. They've already started saying.
Sunita ji, he's not been stopped from participating in any political activity. So, he will definitely, he has only been asked not to talk on the case.
So what will happen tomorrow is that there will be a
101%.
rally which will be organized. Sanjay Singh will be
A
seen
grand
on
welcome
the
accorded to-
podium. He will not say a single thing, but maybe Atishi and Saurabh Bhardwaj will
Okay,
say
and
that.
let Sunita complete a point. Now, Sunita.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That he can go around, he can do politics. The only thing is he doesn't have to talk about the case. Today he said Satamev Jayate. But what about the Garner and the other leaders? They'll go and paint the town red. They will go
You
and
know,
say whatever they want to do.
I'm running short of time, Sunita, but I'll only say one thing, डूबते को तिनके का सहारा काफ़ी होता है. So in this case of Sanjay Singh, you know, the odds are against Aam Aadmi Party right now. Yes, it's like a beacon of hope, but I will not count much because ultimately the proof of the pudding is in eating it. And I think the whole focus will continue to revolve around Arvind Kejriwal.